Hey, welcome back to another creepy TikTok. Do me a favor and hit that subscribe button if you guys are enjoying these videos, because they are banning and censoring me because they do not want you guys to see these videos. So make sure you're watching it, get that popcorn, and get ready. Let's get into it. Enjoy.
So Russia released this calendar for 2024, and it's very eerie to me. It doesn't sit right with me. It almost seems like it's foreshadowing. We're gonna go through a few of the pictures. By the way, TikTok is mad at me, so if you see this video on your For You page, let me know in the comments, please. First off, why is there a Russian military right in front of the Capitol? And why does it look like a huge end of America scenario is going on right behind me? And don't forget, Putin has been meeting with Z all of 2023. In their last meeting, Z had said that there were changes coming not seen in over 100 years. And with all the world events lately, all the movies coming out and everything geopolitically, this calendar is just very strange. It looks like the bear is in attack mode. And we all know that people aren't too fond of the USA right now. Soldier with the cat showing displaced animals where combat would be happening. Here's the US Capitol again, and here is Putin, all buffed up and ready to go to war, kind of like that bear was. And as you saw in that tweet, the calendar was released by the Russian feds, and that's actually what the lettering is on this car, the FSB. And this last one's pretty deep, so it's a Russian soldier standing beside Peter the Great, we're about to get into it, and also a medieval bogatire of Russia. I'll show you why it's significant. Peter literally modernized Russia, who was lagging behind the West at the time, and really just rebirthed a great society in Russia. But let's see the other one real quick. So here's that medieval warrior, and it said they fought against like the Tartarian Empire, or the ones that opposed them, and it's slaying a dragon. So we have Peter the Great showing great rebirth of Russia. We have the bear in attack mode, capital overthrown, him slaying the dragon. Something's about to go down.
Yep, this terrifying situation is about to come true, and 2024 may be the start of a new ice age. Citizens were terrified after scientists confirmed that Italy and the rest of the world is in big danger and there's not much we can do. Volcano Campifragre is said to be the world's second most powerful volcano, and it's about to erupt. And when it erupts, it can cause the same damage as Pompeii to the world. The issue is that Campifragre currently lays on top of magma that is reported to be connected to Mount Vesuvius. This means that when Campifragre erupts, it's believed both volcanoes could go off at the same time, causing not only destruction of Italy, but possibly turning the entirety of Earth into a permanent winter for up to 3 years. Not only affecting the crops, but the air quality and our drinking water won't be safe anymore. Currently, there is a big chance Campifragre could go off in the very near future, with 1,100 earthquakes happening near Naples in just the past month, with a study from the Communications, Earth and Environmental Journal saying that this eruption is a realistic possibility. Time to head to the moon.
Simpsons event that could happen in 2024.
Under the strict supervision of heavily medicated octogenarians.
I'm gonna need to see 3 forms of ID, 12 if you're a Democrat.
Get down here. Your vote for president has never been more important.
That's today? No way.
You'll get down here this minute if you care about the 3 things you love most.
Let's see. I know who I want for all the judges and propositions, but president, that's a stumper. Can I write in Judge Judy?
You're hesitating over president? Yeah, by all means.
Here's a list of horror movies set to release in the year 2024, and let me just say these look absolutely insane. First up, we have the brand new Conjuring movie, The Last Rites, set to be based on a true story from the case files of Ed and Lorraine Warren, which have to be insane. We also have another poster here, which you can see her standing there and you can see Valak in the back, meaning that she's gonna have something to do with it as well. Super hyped. We also have Terrifier 3, which I don't know how they can get more gory than the last one, but I just gotta say, people are definitely gonna be leaving the theaters once again or having to be carted out because of how much gore these movies do have. The storyline is really good though, and I genuinely think that if they touch on it a little bit more, or figure out how we can get rid of Art the Clown, I think this series will go a lot farther. We're also going to be getting a brand new Insidious movie called Thread, based on the Insidious tale. No idea what it has to do with, but if it's anything better than The Red Door, I will be very happy because that movie was horrible. And then finally, we have A Quiet Place Day 1, which I'm pretty sure we already saw Day 1 in the first movie, you know, when everything starts to go insane and then the monsters come out of nowhere, you can't make any noise. We kind of already saw that, so I wonder how they're going to be able to get this around. But that's about it for now. Follow for more.
Suzanne Barr, did you see what she said today? She said she doesn't see a 2024 election even happening in the United States.
I don't think we're going to have no election.
You want to bet money?
I'll bet.
How much?
I'll bet big. I don't think we're going to have no election.
$1,000.
All right.
Shake hands.
I did not want to hear that.
I mean, it's possible because if Russia does technically declare war or we declare war, then he can stay in.
Right, he could declare martial law, or you could literally go into the War Powers Act, which then takes him out of the occasion, and then you have an entire emergency set up right now.
The year is 2024, and your electrical car won't start for 72 hours because what you posted on social media has been deemed offensive by the government. Think this sounds too far-fetched or it's not going to happen? Do you think the powers that be are not trying to mimic China's social credit score system? Wake up and observe the Orwellian changes around us. The ultimate goal of the ruling class is to control the masses. You hooked up to a social credit score tied to a V-passport, tied to your digital wallet, where if you get out of line, they turn your purchasing power off just like that. You can't participate in society. Stand your ground. Stay vigilant. Do not comply, or else we're all fucked.
Check this out.
Best way to gain control of the most intelligent, powerful species on the planet would be to completely divide them from the love within themselves. As soon as they are old enough to begin creating an understanding of who they are, force them into a system that teaches them that it is wrong to be yourself if yourself is different from what is accepted as normal. Confuse them about their own biological makeup so that they think that permanently altering their body is the answer to happiness. Require their daily attendance at an institution that makes them focus only on the information that is provided. Make them attend that institution from age 5 until an adult and repeatedly test them on the information so that it becomes their truth. Give them an explanation to everything so that they never have a chance to make their own assumptions of the world. Scold them and humiliate them if they suggest an opinion that opposes that of their authorities. Keep reminding them of how cruel their ancestors were to each other in the past and broadcast how cruel they are to each other in the present. Only show them tragedies on the news so that they live in fear and think the worst of one another. Convince them that their species used to be that of an incognizant wild animal. Make them think that their very existence is so incredibly random that they lack purpose and struggle to make sense of a creator. Tell them that their kind is as smart as they've ever been so that they don't question the integrity of the system that they're in. Provide them idols with artificial beauty and use them as examples of what it is to look perfect so that they are never content with their own appearance and can't help but to compare themselves amongst each other. Create addictive digital platforms that rank them by numbers so that they base their self-worth off of the amount of followers that they have and are never satisfied.
Are we listening yet?
Alexa, when is the next election for president?
The 2024 U.S. presidential election will take place on May 2nd, 2024.
What?
Something big is coming and everyone knows it. Everyone can feel it. So here's my prediction. I believe a major impact event will happen. What some call a black swan event. It could have something to do with the war, maybe acts of terror thanks to open borders, or maybe a massive cyber attack. Whatever it ends up being, it's gonna crash the economy big time. It's gonna make the 2008 recession look like a walk in the park. Pensions and 401ks will be destroyed, there'll be absolute chaos, and it'll look like society is collapsing. The economy is already heading in this direction considering inflation, interest rates, debt crisis, banks collapsing, countries stocking up on gold. Big event, financial collapse, chaos. But after a period of time, the government will step in and play hero. They'll come to the rescue and start giving out stimulus checks and payment relief. But here's the kicker. These relief payments are going to be given out in the form of CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. They're going to use this crisis to roll out an entirely new financial system. I believe all of this will happen over the next 12 months leading up to the presidential election. Who knows, maybe it'll be so bad that there won't even be an election. Now, I could be wrong about all this, but I'm curious, what do you see coming?
Is it that you sneer every time you refer to this country? No, you wouldn't. You're one of the ardent believers, a good American. Oh, there are millions like you. People that plod along without asking questions. I hate to use the word stupid, but it seems to be the only one that applies. The great masses. The moron millions.
Given that this was filmed in the 40s, one could only imagine how they view the masses today and what they have secretly done behind our backs.
Well, there are a few of us who are unwilling to just troop along. A few of us who are clever enough to see that there's much more to be done than just live small, complacent lives. A few of us in America who desire a more profitable type of government. The competence of totalitarian nations is much higher than ours. They get things done.
Yeah. They get things done. They bomb cities, sink ships, torture and murder so you and your friends can eat off of gold plate. It's a great philosophy.
I neither intend to be bombed nor sunk. And if things don't go right for you, if we should win, perhaps I can get what I want then. Power. I want that as much as you want your comfort or your job or that girl. We all have different tastes, as you can see. Only I'm willing to back my tastes with the necessary force.
So T-Mobile has quietly updated their terms of service to include fines for using their service in regards to content they don't agree with. I stumbled upon this on Reddit and I wanted to share with you guys. And as you can see, beginning January 2024, T-Mobile is instituting 3 new fees for non-compliant traffic that results in a Severity 0 violation. The non-compliance fines will be assessed for every Severity 0 violation issued as follows. Tier 1, $2,000 for phishing, smishing, and social engineering. Tier 2, $1,000 for illegal content. And as you can see, Tier 3 is a $500 for all other violations, including but not limited to shaft. Please review the T-Mobile Codes of Conduct, Section 5.2 for a list of all disallowed. Shaft is just an acronym for basically for forbidden content. S representing, and I believe that's supposed to say sexually inappropriate content, hate speech or profanity, alcohol, firearms, tobacco. And when it comes to hate speech, it seems that, in my opinion, this is a pretty open-ended term, which kind of sucks for me because I've actually had T-Mobile for several years and I have a really great plan, but looks like I'm going to be switching pretty soon. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
I'm a 100% believer in the Pantone conspiracy, and I want to talk about the 2024 Pantone color of the year, Peach Fuzz. If you stumbled upon this video, chances are you've seen this video. While it's absolutely true that one thing can mimic another, that a company's trending colors can influence society so much that, like, we all chose this as the Pantone color of the year, I think it is actually backwards, and I think Pantone is the one choosing the color of the year based on outside influences that are then affecting the color trends that we use that year or that season. But do I think that it always lines up with logos and a company's brand colors? No, absolutely not. Off the top of my head, I cannot think of a single logo that is represented by this color. It's giving me like a gross sad beige children vibe, a like actual peach Crayola crayon. And I'm hearing a lot of people go, oh, it's like 80s peach, 80s, 90s peach, whatever our moms were into. They do a lot of investigating supposedly to find these hot new colors and stuff, like the magenta that we had this past year. And I just don't believe that we're still here. I don't believe that. I don't believe that we're still here in this beige rainbow zone. I think all of us are moving further beyond that if we're the types of people to pay attention to color and color of the year. I think they either got the audience wrong this year, or they are just out of touch, or they're paid off, So what company, what industry, what category of peoples can benefit if Dream Matte Mousse comes back? Did Maybelline pay off Pantone? Y'all remember that, right? That'll lead you down a whole nother rabbit hole, by the way, which I'm not prepared to go into at all, but you can think what you think.
will be so intense that a new makeover of Jerusalem will be required. It says, it is posted that a Stargate will be established close to the city Jerusalem near the year 2024 AD. That's after damnation. That is what we're in right now. The portal for this Stargate will likely be Ezekiel's temple. The refurbished and expanded city of Jerusalem in Israel will be capital of the world in every aspect. This dimensional portal was seen by Jacob when he dreamt of a stairway to heaven with angels ascending and descending. And Stargate that they say is gonna be there in 2024, right? Because that's why this big war is happening. And this is why America is getting involved, right? Somehow these beings, probably the Anunnaki, the portal that they had left out from was in that area. So they most likely might come back through that area. And a number of wars are mentioned in the tribulation times 2017 to 2024 AD. Will the seal opening when peace shall depart and men seek to destroy one another. This is the last tribulation war and it shall be very intense. This person is basically giving out the predictions and through the text of the Bible. I hope y'all understood what I was putting down, trying to translate it into my way of perceiving it.
I'm sorry, what is happening next year? I'm sorry. This absolute soul right here is Baba Vanga. You may have heard about her before. She's a Bulgarian mystic who has correctly predicted so many events through history. She was born in 1911 and died in 1996, and she has some insane predictions that have come true before, and she has some for next year. So make sure you save this video and share it with someone to see if any of these come true. So, what has she got to say about next year? And some of it is a little bit scary. First one, pretty obvious. I think everybody's predicting this at the moment. Use the words power weapon deployment, meaning not necessarily the end of the world, not necessarily a huge nuclear disaster, but people begin testing them and firing them about and just playing around, teasing the end of the world. Maybe the end of the world's her 2025 prediction, but you know, we'll look at this next time next year if we're still alive. This one I've been seeing a lot. A load of people have been predicting this, and she did as well. Said there will be a new disease which will wipe across the world essentially, Disease X, which is already hitting headlines. I hope this doesn't happen, but there you go. She said there will be designer humans next year. Not sure what I make of that, is a bit odd. She also said there is ways we will be able to rewatch our dreams, almost like a film. I'll take that. As always, hit that follow button and I will keep you updated.
On April 8th, 2024, there will be another total solar eclipse that will mark an X right across the nation of the United States. That alone seems to have some sort of prophetic significance, as well as the fact that that takes place just a few days before the Passover that year. But also, on October 14th, 2023, this year, another annular solar eclipse is going to cross the United States. And what's truly incredible about all of that, when you mark this all on a map, it looks exactly like the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, the Aleph. Some other pretty incredible things surrounding this is that on October 14th, 2023, when the annular solar eclipse will take place across the United States, that is also the day of the new moon in Jerusalem. And then on April 8th, 2024, when we get the next total solar eclipse that crosses the United States, marking the X, is that there's another new moon in Jerusalem on that date. And also April 8th happens to be the first day of the first month on the Hebrew calendar, and so it's the marking of a brand new biblical year on that date. In Luke 21:25, after Jesus says that there will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars in the last days, he said that there will also be distress of nations. Israel and Jerusalem being an absolute focal point for what takes place in the last days. It's incredible to see that lately there has been distress in Israel.
Tonight, there is unrest across Israel on the eve of a defining moment, even as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu recovers from an emergency heart procedure. The 73-year-old Prime Minister said he's in excellent health and said he will be in the Knesset Monday when his right-wing ruling coalition is set to pass the first part of his judicial overhaul plan. Opposition to the plan reached a climax this weekend with mass protests across the country. The bitter disagreement reflects the deep split in Israel between those who want a more secular and diverse nation and those with a more religious and nationalistic vision.
Recently, France has been seeing massive unrest take place, just another nation to add to the list that's experiencing distress.
Molotov cocktails directed at the police.
burning buses, and looting. For days on end, riots spread across France.
The prophecies of the last days and what the world will look like in the end times, I don't think is just going to happen overnight. It seems that these things are going to have to be built up to that very point, and it seems like that's what we're getting a glimpse of right now.
Have seceded.
The United States Army ramps up activity.
The White House issued warnings to the Western forces as well as the Florida Alliance.
The three-term president assures the uprising will be dealt with swiftly.
Let me know if you want to try anything on.
Are you guys aware there's like a pretty huge civil war going on all across America?
We just try to stay out. With what we see on the news, seems like it's for the best.
Citizens of America, the so-called Western forces of Texas and California have suffered a very great defeat at the hands of the United States military.
Mr. President, do you regret the use of airstrikes against American citizens? We're moving to D.C. today.
You need to go down there.
They shoot journalists on sight in the Capitol. Every instinct in me says this is death. Blooded.
Every time I survived the war zone, I thought I was sending a warning home. Don't do this. But here we are.
There's some kind of misunderstanding here. What? Well, you're American, okay? Okay. What kind of American are you? You don't know?
The Western forces will reach the White House on July 4th.
Oh my God.
Get in the car! Get in the car!
Move, move, move!
You're gonna hang back.
I'm not hanging back.
One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go, 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 go!
God bless America.